Okay, thiols and sulfides. Thiols are called mercaptans, and they are the sulfur analogs of alcohol. So, alcohols have a functional group COH. So, thiols have carbon bonded to SH. So, that's why they are called sulfur analogs of alcohols. So, to name thiols, we use the suffix the thiol in replace of all, and this SH group is what we call a mercapto group. So if it's a substituent, we call it mercapto. So how to name thiol? Again, we use the suffix thiol. So like this one, you have two carbons, so that's ethane, and then you add the word thiol. So take note, you have to spell out the name of the alkane if it's an alkane. No? So ethane and then the word thiol. This one right here is cyclohexane, so we write as cyclohexane, then thiol. Now in this case, this is our parent, so it's called benzoic acid if you can recall in the aromatic na PPT. And this SH right here becomes a substituent, so we call it again mercapto. Now the two groups are in meta position, 1, 3. That's why we have M here, no? Meta mercapto benzoic acid. So you can also name this as 3 mercapto benzoic acid. Okay, another example. So in the first structure, this should be number 1, since that is where the SH, the functional group, is nearest, no, from that end. So 1, 2, 3, 4. In this example, we have a methyl in carbon 3, so that's 3-methyl. Our functional group, the thiol, is in carbon 1, so that's 1-butane thiol. Butane because we have 4 carbons in the parent chain. So 3-methyl, 1-butane thiol. Okay, now if we have both the SH and the OH, what happens is the OH is our parent and the SH becomes the substituent. No? So in this case, this is our 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so in carbon 3 we have a mercapto group and a methyl. So alphabetical order, we start with the mer before the meth. So that's 3 mercapto, 3 methyl. Then the OH is in carbon 1, so 1-butanol. Okay, another example in the third structure. Again, this should be 1, 2, 3. So priority na to COH kaysa ni SH. So we have 2, 3 dimercapto, and then 1 propanol because you have the OH in carbon 1. You have 3 carbons in the parent chain. Okay, thiols are weakly acidic. So like this one, for methane thiol, the pKa is 10.3. They don't typically form hydrogen bonds because the sulfur atom is not sufficiently electronegative. So only the oxygen forms hydrogen bond. So they have this appalling odor. Volatile thiols are added to natural gas to serve as an easily detectable warning in case of leaks. So thiols can form complex with mercury as well as other metals, which is used in the treatment of mercury and lead poisoning. So like this one, we have dimercaprol, which could complex with mercury, again to treat poisoning. How do we synthesize thiols? We can use alkyl bromide to form thiol. And thiol can be oxidized to form disulfides. Okay, sulfides are sulfur analog of ethers. If you can recall, ethers, you have 2 carbon atoms bonded to the same oxygen. So pag sulfide, the oxygen is replaced with sulfur. No? That's why it's called sulfur analogs of ethers. So here we use the word sulfide in replace of ether. If you can recall, Sa ether, if the OR, no, it becomes a substituent, we call it alkoxy. But here, the SR, we call it alkyl thio. Okay? So, for example here, how do we name simple sulfide? So, same sa ether, we just name the two R groups bonded sa sulfur, and then second word is sulfide instead of ether. So like this one here, so first example, you have two methyl groups. So instead of writing methyl, methyl, you just use di, no? So dimethyl, then the second word is sulfide. In the second example, this one right here is phenyl, and this is methyl. So alphabetical order, we start with the M, methyl first, then phenyl. The third word is sulfide. Now in this third example, this one right here again, if you have SR, R group, it could be methyl, ethyl, and so on, we call that group as alkyl thio. Now our alkyl here is a methyl, so it is named as methyl thio. If the alkyl group is ethyl, so that's ethyl thio, depending on the R group present. Okay, so this is a cycloalkene again. The two carbons sharing the double bond are carbons 1 and 2. So our alkyl thio is in carbon 3. Take note, when you write the methyl thio, it should be enclosed in a parenthesis to indicate that it is one group, no? So you have methyl thio in carbon 3. So methyl thio cyclohexene. Another example here, still a methyl thio group. It's in carbon 4. So this is 1. So we have 1,1-dichloro, 4 again in parenthesis, methyl thio cyclohexane. So again, the OR group is called alkoxy. The SR group is called alkyl thio. How do we synthesize sulfides? Again, we still have this alkyl bromide to be used. And then sulfides can be converted into sulfoxide, and sulfoxide can be converted into sulfone. Okay, assign an IUPAC name for each of the following compounds. So, for letter A, we start sa right side because that's the end where the SH group is nearer. So, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since we don't have other substituents, so we just name the parent, which is hexane. So this is hexane thiol. That's it. Or 3, you have to indicate the ano pala. Where is the SH group connected? So it's in carbon 3, so that's 3-hexane thiol. Okay, letter B. So this is a sulfide. You have two R groups bonded to the same sulfur. On the left side, you have ethyl. On the right side, you have propyl. So alphabetical order, we start with ethyl. So that's ethyl, propyl, sulfide. Okay, this group right here, what we call sulfoxide. So it's the same group actually. On the left we have ethyl, so right we have propyl. But instead of using the word sulfide, we have sulfoxide. So ethyl, propyl, sulfoxide. Okay, letter D. This should be number 1 since this is near sa SH group. 2, 3, 4. Our SH is in carbon 2, so we name this as 2-butane thiol. For letter E, this is a sulfide. So this is ethyl and this is isopropyl. In alphabetical order, we start with ethyl. So ethyl, isopropyl, sulfide. Okay, so that's it for the naming. Okay, so we have the answers in the next slide. Okay, so that ends the thiols and sulfides.